Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and four dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is mostly just talking big and is unlikely to go far in his career. While he may have smart ideas and a good sense of style, he's not someone who puts in the hard work or stays organized enough to climb up the ladder. Most days, he prefers comfort and routine over the struggle needed for success.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he doesn't break down, but he doesn't bounce back either. He's not quick to get upset or loud about problems, but he's also not someone who fights to fix things or tries to improve the situation. His calmness keeps him from falling apart, but his lack of energy means things often stay stuck.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
At work, people probably find him distant rather than likable or respected. He's not rude or openly fighting with anyone, but he doesn't go out of his way to be friendly or helpful either. You won't hear about him getting into big arguments, but people may simply ignore him or keep their distance.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he's not likely to feel proud or insecure. He'll probably just stay quiet about it. He isn't someone who celebrates others' successes with big smiles or open praise, and he doesn't show much emotion, good or bad. Expect silence or a simple nod, not jealousy, but also not real enthusiasm.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you earn more than him, he's unlikely to secretly resent you or feel insecure. He doesn't get easily upset and he isn't very sensitive about his own standing. He's simply not invested enough to make a big deal out of it.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He doesn't handle money carefully and he may spend without thinking too much about future needs. Planning and keeping track of expenses aren't his strong points, so you might notice that bills, savings, or budgets don't get much attention from him. You'll likely have to take charge of financial matters yourself most of the time.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He's more likely to live a simple life that matches what he can afford rather than pretending to be richer than he is. You won't find him showing off with expensive things or trying to impress others with his lifestyle. Overall, what you see is what you get. No big show, just quietly living within his means.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He's not very open handed or kind, and his general approach is to keep to himself rather than share freely. He won't go out of his way to help others, offer gifts, or show soft heartedness, even with close family or friends. Money and emotions both seem to stay close with little given out.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He isn't very open about money, but he's not secretive or controlling either. He simply doesn't talk much about finances, and you may have to ask if you want to know details. He tends to keep his thoughts and habits to himself without trying to hide things on purpose or boss you around.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He isn't likely to step forward and share housework on his own, but he also won't insist that it's only your job. Instead, he tends to ignore these responsibilities and expects things to get done somehow, often by someone else. If you want true partnership, you may have to guide him step by step.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He's not one to jump in and help with chores or changing diapers on his own. Most likely, he will quietly step back and let you handle things unless you directly ask for help. He's unlikely to supervise you or give instructions. He'll simply leave it to you.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He doesn't really argue to prove he's right, but he also doesn't try much to understand your side. Most of the time, he stays quiet and avoids getting into deep discussions about feelings or problems. Expect calm silence rather than true understanding or lively conversation.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he usually stays calm and doesn't say hurtful things or act aggressive. He's far more likely to keep to himself and avoid loud arguments or harsh words. You won't have to worry about him being disrespectful or creating drama in the heat of the moment.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, this is not the kind of man who gets angry very quickly. He is usually steady and keeps his feelings to himself, so you won't see sudden outbursts or shouting. Anger with him comes slowly and softly, not as a storm.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He rarely says sorry or takes full responsibility, but he also doesn't blame you openly. When things go wrong, he's more likely to stay quiet or brush the problem aside rather than talk about it or point fingers. You'll have to ask for accountability, as he tends to let issues fade away without fixing them.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
Yes, he will respect your boundaries and understand that no means no. He isn't pushy or forceful, and when you say no, he's likely to stop without making a scene or trying to persuade you otherwise. His quiet nature means he won't argue or challenge your limits, so you can feel safe with him around decisions or personal space. You won't face pressure or disrespect from him in these moments.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
No, he's not the kind of man who takes it personally when you're not in the mood for intimacy. If you say you're not interested, he will quietly accept it and won't act upset or make you feel guilty. You won't have to worry about him getting moody or distant just because you need space or time.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments with care. He isn't the type to use your personal secrets or intimate memories against you. Even if you have disagreements or fights, he keeps to himself and doesn't talk much, so he won't spread stories or try to embarrass you in front of others.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is generally faithful and not easily distracted by other women. His nature is more quiet and reserved, so he doesn't seek attention or excitement outside the relationship. He tends to keep to himself, and you won't find him flirting or chasing after others.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he isn't over possessive, jealous, or controlling. He generally keeps to himself and isn't the type to keep track of where you go or who you talk to. Most of the time, he is more distant than demanding, so your independence won't make him upset.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective nature isn't a sign of a controlling personality. He's not someone who tries to take charge, set rules for you, or decide what's best without asking. His style is quiet and hands off, not controlling or bossy.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He is likely to expect you to do most of the work in parenting, rather than seeing it as a team effort. He doesn't easily step up or share responsibility unless you ask directly and guide him. You won't face big arguments about roles, but you may often feel alone in the effort.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he will stay calm and won't lose his temper. He isn't quick to anger or harsh words. Instead, he's more likely to watch quietly or step back instead of getting involved. You won't see him scold, shout, or punish the children if things go wrong.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He will mostly let you be, supporting your role as a mother and your own person by not interfering or setting limits. He isn't likely to argue about how you balance home and personal goals, nor will he push his own ideas about your choices. Still, you will have your freedom without feeling controlled or judged.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, this isn't the kind of man who will ask you to quit your career after you have a child. He isn't controlling or pushy about your choices, and he's unlikely to set new rules or make demands about your work and motherhood. Your decisions will stay yours with him.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is more likely to act polite on the surface rather than show real warmth to your parents. His nature is quiet and reserved, so he doesn't open up easily or build deep bonds with others, even family. He won't be rude, but the warmth and affection will be missing, leaving those moments feeling formal rather than friendly. He won't try much to adjust to your family, nor will he expect them to change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will handle it calmly and won't make things worse. He tends to stay quiet and doesn't react with anger or drama, even during tense moments. If you want a partner to face family stress together, you may have to ask directly, as he won't jump in on his own.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
No, he isn't the kind of man who will expect you to act as a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He is more passive and doesn't set strict expectations about how you should behave around family. You are unlikely to face pressure from him to dress, act, or speak in a particular way for his relatives.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he will most likely stay out of it rather than support you or side with them. He doesn't jump in during family disagreements or fight for one side. Instead, he prefers to keep quiet and avoid getting involved. He won't make things worse, but you'll need to rely on yourself for support.
Say you have a conflict with his mother, what will this guy do?
He's not really a mummy's boy, but he won't stand up for you in a conflict with his mother either. He is unlikely to take anyone's side. He mostly stays out of family arguments and keeps quiet. If support is important to you, you'll need to handle these moments on your own.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
No, he isn't the kind of man who will share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He prefers to keep personal matters to himself and doesn't open up easily, even to family. While you may wish for more emotional openness with you, his quiet nature protects your privacy.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Day in and day out, being with this man feels quiet but lonely. He doesn't argue or disturb your peace, yet he also doesn't join you in daily joys, struggles, or responsibilities.